is Monday, December 22nd, the start of Christmas week. And I don't really know what that's going to mean for trading. I think the big story today is retail sales data release postponed to mid-January, new home sales data postponed, housing starts report delayed. So the administration's delaying all the key data points, which is not that I mean, is it that surprising now? I mean, I don't know. But no data means more uncertainty, and obviously, I'm going to guess that this data is really bad, which is why they're delaying it. But yeah, and the other thing was Trump's expected to name a new Fed chair. And so my guess, like this kind of goes into the bearish dollar situation. My guess is they just want to nuke rates pretty much as low as they can. Yeah, and just keep pumping things up, just run it as hot as possible. But again, I'm trying to focus on charts because the macro stuff I'll never be able to figure out, and it's anyone's guess. But in general, so dollar's kind of continuing on its downtrend. We have a little 0.4 drop today, so it's kind of continuing as far as chart. Like on the 4-hour, we have a bearish continuation. I mean, this doesn't really line up. It's kind of forced. I'd have to actually let me do it on the close here. If I was actually doing this, it'd be something like this. Isn't the most clean, but yeah, we're expecting to go down here, and that's kind of business as usual. It's basically the same as this. Yeah, this is normal stuff. That's not really crazy. And that leads us over to gold. So this last recap, like on Friday, I was saying there was actually a little bit of a pullback on gold. Little being the keyword, and we got the gap up long trigger. So last night at open, if you were paying attention, you could have gone long here. Target is to this orange box. You know what? I'll take a paper. I should take a paper long. I'll make a note of that. And you would do, like, let's say you did it today. You'd put your stop, below the clump of these lows. And even though RSI's popped and, it's a new all-time high, you're buying at the breakout of this consolidation, which is pretty good. The only other better setup here would be back down here if you took the long on the breakout of these when the RSI crossed, which is fine. I mean, I'm not trading gold, and then if you're already long, this is a good place to like move stops up. So if you were long from here and your stop was down here, then you have the breakout. You're potentially waiting for a retest, but pretty much anything below here, okay, we're gonna retest these lows. So that's a good place to make sure you're securing profits, in my opinion, anyways. But just trade however you want. Silver, same thing. Like it's just ripping. Although I have it at what did I say last week? I have no idea where I got this level. I should have labeled it. But I mean, there's overextended, and then there's this. So this is the same kind of thing. I saw one of the really good charts I follow was saying this is a good, perfect example of you don't know how long it's gonna go up, and it's impossible. Like there's no levels here to move stops or take profit or anything. So just a trailing stop is a really good use here if you're long silver. Yeah. As far as like charting here, there's nothing I can draw lines, but they mean nothing. As this is just these moves are so strong. They're strong, but they're quick, so they can reverse like so fast. But update on oil. Oil did the thing. We're in the profit. We're in the money. So now the question is, can it gain any momentum? So the RSI, we got the cross here, which is nice. But 43 is kind of no man's land RSI-wise, right? So, we have a cross, consolidation or whatever. The idea is this, like this would be bullish. But it's oil and gas. Anything can happen. But chart's looking good. We're at our first point of resistance. Let's just see what it can do. I mean, with a sweep here, that's kind of max bull scenario for me. But yeah, it's just continued compression. So buyer beware. And this is one I'm definitely gonna hope it works, I guess is the word, but you don't really want to pray. And then on the weekly, it's the same kind of thing. We're starting to actually look a bit better. I just want to change this to colored really quickly. So on the weekly, we're basically saying this is our low for the week, and we don't want to be going below that. We're anticipating a weekly candle that's green that will finish, ideally higher. And that's it. It's that simple. And we just watch it unfold. But yeah, pleased with that trade. If you remember last week, I was saying natural gas was looking bearish and that I was probably going to get stopped out. And I set my alert and I got blown out. Wasn't even close. Thankfully, I'm not trading futures on this or spot. I'm trading via UNG, so my loss was diminished a bit. UNG. My actual stop was, I think I closed at 5.8 this morning or something. So saved a couple percent, but lost 1R. I'm still not over the natural gas trade. Like, we still have green we can retest, and I mean, this is still very bullish. Like the trend support is down here, so green is going to be the final stand. If we lose green, okay, then we can start talking about, down here. But I think for something as volatile as natural gas, this isn't the worst. The worst would be if we start bouncing in the middle, because I have no levels there. So if we see something like this, then it'll be a little more questionable, honestly. At this point, we either want to go straight back up kind of thing, consolidate for a bit, or we just want to nuke to this green, and then it'll be massively overextended. But it's already, I mean, this is the daily. On the daily, we're already well below yearly lows on the RSI. So there's definitely room for this to go up, especially considering that this drop was actually on really no data. The weather is actually, the weather data is just fine. So I'm pleased with this trade because I followed my rules. And now I'm just on standby. I don't know if I'm going to take any positions, and I kind of want this to develop more before I do anything else. I haven't really mentioned this before, but my big holding is Trican, which is related to gases and natural gas. And I mean, it's doing just fine, so I'm not really too worried about that. Although I would like natural gas to not go to zero. I mean, look at this on the weekly EMA. It's a retest of there too. Like, this pullback is not exactly unhealthy by any measure, considering the straight line up that it had. Okay, enough about natural gas. Let's look at USDJPY. USDJPY. I mean, this is perfect. Exactly what we wanted to see in terms of this level. We tested the level. We rejected. Now I don't know what's going to happen, obviously. So I'm still open to a sweep. In general, though, over the next coming weeks, we want to see this stay below. I mean, it's just that simple. That's all we're looking for. JXY held off the lows as well. So it's actually looking really good. I remember Canada JPY was going for a rip. So a slight pullback, but this is crazy bullish. And then Euro is gaining a tiny, not really any momentum, but we're right at the 50 EMA, so not too bad. British pound is just following our plan perfectly. We like to see, although I guess one caveat, we're now above the 50 EMA. RSI is nice. This is showing good momentum, but in general, like, patterns right? They do the thing. So it could deviate, go back until it actually goes. It needs to actually go for it to actually go. We respect patterns until they are no longer. The break of patterns is more significant though than the hold of them. Euro dropping to JPY, and then Euro USD's held off the 50. So this is good. Our currency strategy is going to plan, except for USD Canadian. Looks like I was wrong about Canadian, but again, let's let it unfold. Crypto. I took the long on Ether. So let's go to the 4-hour because that's what it was on. Let me take off. So we had the breakout. We had nothing over the weekend, which seems to be the trend these days. And we're going up. So I moved stops to break even simply because I don't know, man. Like, chart says long, but this could easily nuke to 28 again. Me and crypto have had a pretty poor relationship so far, but it is bullish. Bitcoin it's kind of tested this local resistance, but I don't think this local resistance is that strong. I want to zoom out to at least the daily, and on the daily, I could see this going to 93, no problem. I don't see any reason why not. But again, it's I wish I had more confidence in crypto right now, just because I have that weekly bearish bias, and like a bounce to, well, for Ether, a bounce to 35s like would still be bearish, right? Technically, even though this trend would hold, but yeah, Bitcoin's looking like it's got a chance, but until we break out of this range, like I was saying, I'm not going to be able to make a full commit to either way. But locally, yeah, bullish enough to hold the long and trade the chart, and let's see what happens. I mean, that's pretty much it. And then I have a plan here at 31.5 to move my stops into profit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Might close some, I don't know, but there'll be a profit take situation. Anyways, it's a free trade now, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Bitcoin doing its thing. Now I've marked some individual stocks I wanted to look at. The first one that I thought was really cool was AVGO, and I don't know how I missed. I guess I know how I missed this. I didn't really have this on my watch list, but we have a broadening kind of wedge pattern situation. We have a bounce off the lows. So I took a paper long on this. So it would look something like this, and we'll see if I'm right. But that's a really nice R&R on and like generally this is pretty bullish. You could actually be more scientific with it because these all line up. That's basically what it is. But this is bullish, kind of a megaphone pattern, and you're basically looking for into the zone and then break out. And the nice thing is, if this breaks down, it's probably going down to here. There's also a clump of support here, but I don't think I'd be shorting this. I'd probably focus on a short on the indices, which brings me to the indices. I guess that was a good segue. On Friday, I was looking for either a rejection of this zone back down, or we continue, and then I was thinking of longing up to this level. We continued, so that plan looks like it's going to happen. Gap up on the Monday. Also, I think I kind of want to see this Monday range develop, and then I could take there's at least a conversation for a shorter time frame trade, simply because people are going to reduce risk over the weekend, right? So the gap up Monday is not exactly a surefire sign that we're going higher, but Santa rally, all those things, bounce off soft SR. I mean, there's definitely a case here to just do a nice lean long to the 7100 to end the year. Triple Q's slightly weaker, but still good. I mean, the long here would be off these. So pretty simple. We just long it there. And then the target would be around here, basically. It can always deviate in things, but generally higher lows is good. So, yeah, I'm not too crazy about going nuts on this. So just taking it day by day and then ease into positions. Nice thing about these is you can size up, and I mean the indices, even though they're super over concentrated right now, you don't have to go crazy. You can just kind of, a couple percent here, a couple percent there is all you need. Back to individual stocks, which are kind of related. Palantir, I think I said last week, uncertainty in this zone. We got the breakout above, so target would be 208, and then or 207, and then at that point you can kind of decide. But this is bullish momentum here, and this range was not respected, so I had a potential head and shoulders situation, and now it's not a head and shoulders. So you would, if you were passionate about Palantir, this is the setup. It's not a great setup, and I'm personally not passionate about Palantir, but that's what you're looking for. And then as far as shorts go, I would be doing something like this. So let's look for all-time highs, get back inside. You could short it there, or you could wait for the breakdown of the trend line, and then your target would be this range-bound zone here. And that's not so crazy to think. That'd be kind of like a horizontal consolidation, which isn't out of the question. Let's look at the weekly. Pretty bullish on the weekly though. Like coming in, consolidate, continue. I mean, I struggle with Palantir just because of the valuation so ridiculous, but that doesn't matter. I mean, the chart's what matters. So Air Canada, this one was interesting. I had this as kind of a head and shoulders. And so I was looking for a break below, and I was targeting something like this. And it actually negated that completely and is going back up. So this is actually bullish. And if I was passionate about this, I'd be looking for this, which is actually not that bad of a trade. And if we go a little more zoomed in, you can see this was actually pretty clean. The reason why I would take this now and not here is because we've broken these highs. So, whoops. So RSI is showing momentum, another break above, and we've taken out the previous kind of break high. So that's, for me, that's good enough. So I guess it would be, if I was to take it right now, it'd be something more like this. Because really, if it retests, it should hold. And if it doesn't, that's just bearish. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then if we were to draw it on the, I guess there's still one more barrier to go. It would be this. I'm thinking out loud now, but that zone, and we're through that as well. So I guess something like this, pretty bullish, honestly. And yeah, that's a cool little setup. I don't know if I'm gonna take it, but I'm definitely gonna think about it because that's pretty strong. Not too bad. Oops, did I need that one? I really liked. I think this is one of the most interesting things that I like about charting is the charts morph and change, and you kind of have to adapt as price goes on, right? And no one knows what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. So you just got to stay fluid and adapt. In terms of long term for this one, there's this 5-year consolidation. And if we break out of that again, I'll probably take the long in some account that I'll just never touch because it looks like it'll just go. I prefer more, as far as investing stuff, I prefer more like dividend stock stuff, but whatever. Nike, I had a really cool long earlier in the year where I caught this move. And then we retraced this fully. It was because of low guidance. So I'm looking for a sweep of these lows, and then I'd probably try again, depending on what the RSI is doing. But it's not too bad. There's definitely something there. Like if we get this again, I'll probably long it again. So something like this would take its time. You could either long it after it breaks back in or something like that. But we're looking for a bottoming pattern on Nike as some potential. Interesting. There's also a horizontal there. There's lots of stuff going on there, but nothing right now. Just one that I thought was interesting. Costco lost the support. So by the chart, we're going down to here, which is probably not going to happen, but I have no idea. So the 0.6 would be around here. Something like this would be pretty bullish, but I'm just going to be watching this to see how it develops. I mean, Costco's crazy overextended right now. Like everything, but just keeping an eye on it, basically. I don't think I had anything else. Let me see video. Nvidia's doing the thing. So if we took the long, here's your take profit here. And then we're expecting this to just keep ping-ponging until it doesn't, under the kind of head and shoulders situation. So operating under that until proven otherwise. Meta, we're looking for, this consolidation and then something like this. I might take that if it actually happens. Undecided. Oh yeah, Tesla. Tesla is actually very bullish. So here's the highs, test of the highs. Another test of the highs. Breakdown, which was actually an amazing short trigger, which I did not take, but should have, because it's actually a great setup. However, it held, right? So the reason why this is a great short setup, in hindsight, at the time it was great. In hindsight is because you can get out, right? Like your risk is really defined, really high R. Anyway, so the long would be once we get back inside. You could have longed. I didn't because the setup is this, which is a terrible R, right? Like that's really bad. But now that we've broken out of here, it's a continuation setup, which changes the whole game. So, like something like this, and this is gonna be crazy. Ridiculous what it is. Targeting something like that, which is just bananas. But something like that, I guess you could move these to here, really. But yeah, which is actually a good trade, right? Now we're talking, even though 600 for Tesla seems crazy. But yeah, who knows? I mean, that's what the chart says. So this can obviously deviate and go back down, but this is what the setup would be. And then if it does deviate, come back down, you're looking for a retest of these, but you should expect this to hold. So, but I have no idea what's gonna happen. But that's what this setup would be. Maybe I should take that on paper. I don't know if it's strong enough though. 3-day. Weekly cross. I mean, that's a lot of momentum. This is like parabolic momentum. I mean, it's just like this. It's the same shit, right? Like these kind of stocks, I mean, they have that way about them where they just, people buy them like crazy. But yeah, that could happen. I mean, that's what I see. I think that's enough for today. I don't know if I'll do a video tomorrow, but we'll find out. And happy trading, Merry Christmas, and